Time for car 21, 60.15. Car 21, 60.15. Time for car 22, 48.18. Car 22, 48.18. Time for car 23, 50.90. Car 23, 50.90. Time for car 24, 51.54. Car 24, 51.54. Time for car 26, 52.70. Car 26, 52.70. Time for car 27, 52.35. Car 27, 52.35. Time for car 30, 53.52. Car 30, 53.52. Time for car 31, 53.77. Car 31, 53.77. Time for car 32, 53.07. Car 32, 53.07. Car 33, 49.25. Car 33, 49.25. Time for car 34, 57.69. Car 34, 57.69. Time for car 35, 51.28. Car 35, 51.28. Time for car 36, 52.64. Car 36, 52.64. Car 37A, 57.91. Car 37A, 57.91. Time for car 38, 52.45. Car 38, 52.45.
Thank you.
Time for car 42, 43.54. Car 42, 43.54. Time for car 51A, 47.01. Car 51A, 47.01. A, 47.70. Car 68A, 47.70.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Second day of the Woolbridge Motor Club autumn meeting here at Wiscombe Park. Another glorious sunny day getting us underway. Now we're working our way through the first timed runs as the organising team have outlined. One practice run, that's all done and dusted, and now we're into the first of 3 timed runs, which the drivers will use to good effect, hopefully, in determining the results for each class and overall. So fastest of those 3 runs, the drivers take forward for results purposes. Good track conditions. So the drivers, particularly those that were here yesterday, well versed in levels of grip out on the hill. Just to remind everybody, masks on at all time on the old COVID procedure, please. Although if you remain 2 meters distanced in the paddock, then you can remove your face mask. Not necessarily to be worn when you've got your crash helmet on or when you're in your competing or tow cars. But if you're going to see the clerk of the course, if you've been called to the clerk of the course's caravan, or have a query with the event secretary or timekeepers, etc., then please put masks on. So basically it's masks on at all times, apart from if you're spaced out in the paddock or sitting in your car. Plenty of hand sanitizing opportunities next to the lavatories, etc. So if you need to clean your hands, then make way to one of the portaloos, and there is sanitizer and dispensers there. So we're making our way through the first practice run. As across the parkland, we have Ethan Cobb with the Mini Cooper S. From Class A3 road-going series production cars, 1800 to 2600 cc's. Ethan out of the S's in 23.20. Time for John Wells with his Mazda MX-5, car number 50 in Class A3. And that is 47.48. And now Ethan Cobb goes into the top paddock with the BMW style Mini Cooper S car 51 on 47.70. James Wills with Renault Clio 197 car 49. Stop the clocks on 50.89. And now heading round Wiscombe, we have John White with the Audi A3. John trying very hard through the S's during yesterday's meeting, and will no doubt be giving it his full attention again today. Time for Harry Harris with the Mazda MX-5, man from Axminster, car number 47, 47.93. 47.93 for Harry Harris. Peter Ramsden, car 46, 50.17. Across the parkland now goes John Lepedvin with the Ford Fiesta ST. John from Emsworth, semi-retired consultant by profession. Been hill climbing and sprinting on 2, 3 and 4 wheels since back in the early 70s. He's hill climbed such exotic machines as a Renault 12, an Alfa Sud, BSA 650 sidecar, Kawasaki 350, Yamaha 350, as well as the CBR 600, and of course those who've got a memory for hill climbing in more recent years, the Alfa Romeo 159 diesel. John's time at the top, car 56, then 47.27. Dan Trotman in his Fiesta made it to the top in 46.21. That's car 55, 46.21. And John White with the Audi A3 down in the 47s on a 47.14. 47.14. Debbie Blake with the John Cooper Works Mini running as 53. Just short of going under 50 seconds on a 50.11. And Jeff Bryant with his JCW BMW Mini, 52 on the side, 58.30. So Dan Trotman very much pushing on in Class A3, road going series production cars with that climb at 46.21. Time for Rod Isles, number 60, 45.13 with the 4C Alfa Romeo. Simon Neve with the Mitsubishi Lancer, running as 59, clocked 46.64. And class leader from yesterday, class winner in fact from yesterday, running as 58 from Wellington near Taunton, Anthony Wright at the wheel of the Audi A3, and his first official run of the day gives him a time of 44 seconds. Running out the class, Matt Van with the Audi TT, car 62 on 45.30. So Matt really putting in a storming first official climb, just following Rod Isles and Anthony Wright. Simon Glover away off the line, and those of you who are observant and good at recognising your motor class will realise this is not a Mitsubishi Evo, but in fact a Renault. So Martin and Simon change of cars weekend. George Koopman already at the top with the Renault Megane. 52.61 for George, running his car 66. Richard Barnes with a 435i BMW, car 65 in the top paddock on 55.60. Mike Potter on the line now with the Subaru Impreza WRX RA 2.5 litre machine. Got a good turnout of Subarus Imprezas today. Two of them very similar, if not identical colours, but fortunately have competition numbers on the side, so that should help. Terry Headley, car 67 of the road-going BMW 328i Sport, 49.32. Across the parkland we have Simon Kellaway with his Impreza, launched in 2.67 seconds, into the S's and through the S's in 22.02, waiting on the line. Geraint Meek with his Subaru Impreza, he's sharing with Andrew, so we're running 73A as Andrew and 73 Geraint. Simon Glover at the top with the Renault, car 68 on 47.59. Pristine Jaguar E-Type in the hands of Robin Kane in the top paddock on 62.54. This car 69, 62.54. Mike Potter makes it to the top. His first official run, 50.31, car number 70, 50.31, and Simon Kellaway over the line in car 72, the Impreza in 45.80. So good time by Simon there, followed up by Geraint Meek, another Impreza man, running a 73, 47.19. Double drivers, Blake Westfield, class winner yesterday, and then we will have Yo with the Legend 34 in Sports Libra cars, trying very hard in the first practice run this morning, locking up under braking for the gate. Goes through the S's in 20.91. Meanwhile, 104A at the top in 41.65. 41.65 for 104A, car 100A, and Andy Fraser, of course, back in Class C3 with the Aston Martin. And Andy's time of 46.81. And then car 74, Daniel Gooder with the Club Sport Golf GTI. And he made it up the 900 metre course here at Wiscombe in 47.32. So we return to action on the hill with road-going specialist production cars. 4 runners in the class of the day. First away off the line in 3.19 seconds is Trevor Parsons with the Bewley Special Caterham 7. Trevor, company director from Taunton. Purchased from Williams Automobiles of Chipping Sodbury back in March 2018. Powered by a 1600 Vauxhall engine. And now on up the hill, made his way around Wiss Corner, is Steve Hill, another Tauntonian. Classic car dealer by profession. Man who's competed in Vintage Sports Car Club trials and pre-1965 motorcycle trials. May well have seen him out on the hills in recent seasons, also at the wheel of an Aston A35. But today it's the Lotus Super 7 that's pressed into action, and Trevor Parsons already at the top, sub 50 seconds on 49.11. Easing off the line in 3.11 seconds goes Tim Monk with the Fisher Fury. Contesting Class B3 road-going specialist production cars, catering for engines if they're derived from a motor car of 1800 cc's, and if a motorcycle then over 1125. John Tandy departs the start line with his MG Midget. John Builder from Exeter. 1310cc engine in this MG Midget that was originally manufactured in 1966. Time for Steve Hill then with the Lotus Super 7 car 81, 42.71. Roger Coote takes his Ginetta G4 to the top, car 82. In a time of 47.66. Pace with Steve Hill. Gary Dawkins has to be the final runner. But I haven't seen the presence of him. Tim Monk makes it a 47.75 second climb with the Fisher Fury, car 86, 47.75, and into modified series production car, John Tandy then with that midget, car 89, takes a 47.38, 47.38, as fellow MG midget pilot Steve Luscombe takes his first official run of the day and collects a time of 53.70 for his efforts. Quickly then on into modified series production cars. Mark Hobbs making a return to the hills with the Ford Fiesta number 92 on 47.06. As around Wiss Corner, we have Trevor McMaster contesting Class C3 modified series production cars. Trevor at the wheel of his Ginetta G32. Sean Tuckey in Class C2 with the Ford car over the finish line, car number 93 in 46.97. Wiss Corner then we have car 107 launched in 2.94 seconds, and that's Neil Tuckey in the NTR Mini R1. Neil's doing battle in Class D1 Sports Libre cars up to 1800 cc's, and one of his competitor now crosses Bunny's Leap. That's Luke Trotman at the wheel of the Mark 18B Malloch. Mark running as car 108, clears the S's in 21.50. Way off the line we have David Yeo at the wheel of the Legend 34 Ford Coupe. David from Exeter, a retired quantity surveyor. Time for Neil Tuckey with the NTR Minicar 107, 43.58. 98 was Trevor McMaster from Class C3 with the Janetta, and the time's 46.27. Nathan Tuckey with the Ford car running as 97, clocks 48.21, again in Class C3. Luke Trotman hustles the Malloch then to the top, car 108 in 43.49. So he just gets in front of Neil Tuckey there. Neil on 43.58, 3.79. So it's Westfield SEI running as 104. Graham Blake on the hill. Car 100 takes us back to Class C3. The Aston Martin Vantage in the hands of Tim Pater, car number 100 on 46.38. Taking a win here yesterday afternoon. Be looking to see if he can replicate that form. Also in Class C3, modified series production cars, Mark Stubbington at the wheel of the VW Golf GTI, car 101 on 45.90. So now it's the rally boys come out to play, and off out of West Corner goes Chris Elston with the Mark 1 Escort. Chris started competing in cars back in 1992, did a fair share of night road rallies in the 90s, and took in a few grass auto tests in Jim Carner's. Started hill climbing in 2012. So Chris out of the S's in 24.17. Mark Linford departs the start line in his Mark 1 in 2.95 seconds. Meanwhile, Mark Mortimer from Class D2 Sports Libre is in the top paddock with the Mark 17B Malloch in 47.07. And 113 Chris Elston, first of the rally cars, Mark 1 Escort in the top paddock on 49.08. And now the highly developed Ford Fiesta RS in the hands of Carl Broad. More contemporary vision of a rally car against some of the more historic types that we have today. The Hillman Avenger GT, the Escorts Mark 1s and Mark 2s. So in the top paddock is Bill Cook with the Sunbeam Lotus, car 114 on 49.88. Time for David Yeo, 109, 46.62. Back in Class D1, car 109, 46.62. It's the Avenger away off the line. The GT in the hands of Martin Dover. Makes his way to Bunny's Leap, but the time for Mark 1 driver Mark Linford, car 115, is 45.98. Carl Broad at the top with his Fiesta RS on 47.61. Mike Dixon aboard his Mark 1 Escort over the line in 51.32. It's car number 117, time of 51.32. And now also the final runner in the rally car class and a regular competitor here at Wiscombe Park, Tim Porter, with his Darien T90. Powered by Vauxhall red top engine, producing in the order of 240 brake horsepower, and drives through a 6-speed gearbox, and you'll hear that that is a sequential gearbox. As we go to some of the double-driven single-seaters, but Mark Dover's time with the Hillman Avenger, 51.15, car 118, time 51.15. John Simpson with his Mark II Rally Escort running as 119, stops the clock on 44 seconds dead. Takes the lead of Class D3, but what can Tim Porter do about that? Moves him into second place, actually, a 45.79 for the Wimborne driver. So 44 dead for John Simpson, and then 45.79 second place Tim Porter, with Mark Linford in third on 45.98. Now we pick up a double-driven car from the Downton Motor Club. It's Steve Wareham in John Kirby's Mini Clubman. Stephen out of the S's in 22.29. As we have car 405 on the hill. Nick Lear from the Bristol MX5 Club, Mazda MX5. Nick launched in 3.12 seconds. Now out of the S's in 23.63. As one of his class compatriots launches in 3.04, and that is Pekka Tulukas. Pekka, I think, took the class yesterday on straight times. Stephen Wareham then in the top paddock, 146A on 45.83. 45.83 for Stephen Wareham. 405 takes us into the Bristol MX5 Club, and Nick Lear 48.96 at the top of the hill, and Pekka Tulukas running as car 403, stops the clocks on 48.12. Focus now on the hill is the racing car category up to 1100 cc's, class E1. And of course we have 2 times already done by the A drivers, Tony Bonfield on 42.51 and Mike Williams and 124A on 43.50. So Robert Clark on the hill at the moment, looking to get in amongst the battle out of the S's in 19.62. Easing away off the start line in 2.62 seconds. A drop 500 on the Empire is 128 Andrew Mathis, but of course going up a class to the 1100 to 1600 division. Time for 123 Robert Clark now with the EVO 00 Empire is 40.26. Puts him into the lead as down to the start line comes Andrew Short with the OMS CF07. Andrew took the class win yesterday with Ed Hollier taking the fastest time of the day. So we look to a battle between the OMS CF pilots, Short and Forsyth. Short with the 07 and Forsyth with the 04. Car 128, then Andrew Mathis in the top paddock on 48.15. Andrew Short off the line in 2.40 seconds and now exits the S's in 18.21. Forsyth takes to the line with the Suzuki-powered CF04, waits for the green light, and departs in 2.55 seconds. So 1500ths down on Short, just away off the line. Andrew Short running as 129, not at the top yet. Clock still ticking and the red flags are out. And Ed from Columpton takes the start line in his bid to make it a brace of wins across the weekend. Marshall's just hold the car steady on the start line. Yep, everybody's happy with that. In the right place, green light comes on, and Ed is away. 2.58 seconds around West Corner, powering across the parkland here, over Bunny's Leap in the bright sun, then into the shade of the braking area for the gate, and through the S's. 17.71, so Ed is dialed in quite quickly this morning, as he then takes the right-hander at Saul Bench, Castle Straight, before finishing his climb with the left-hand hairpin at Martini. Away off the line in 2.93 seconds was Kevin Frost aboard his self-designed and built KMD. And now quickly around West Corner. 124 Tom Williams, launched in 2.5 seconds with the MWR Storm. A lightweight machine. See how Tom is doing in the S. Is 20.99. But at the top of the hill, Ed Hollier stops the clocks on 38.30. Fastest climb of this morning, with Robert Clark in second place on 40.26 with the Empire Evo. And quickly and efficiently away off the line goes Ben Bonfield, taking us back into Class E1 racing cars. Ben got the Jedi off the line in 2.48 seconds. Go on back to saloon cars, but time for 135. John Opie in the 1600 to 2 litre racing car class. John at the wheel of the Rolt RT3 on a time of 42.71. Car 135 42.71. And 125 Ben Bonfield on a cracking climb of 38.46, so just 16 hundredths of a second shy of Ed Hollier. So could be facing a bit of a battle there this afternoon between competitors in Class E1, racing cars up to 1100 cc's, and E2, 1100 to 1600 cc division. Tom Williams, car 124, made the top in 43.17. Down to Motor Club division, car 139 with John Hill with the BMW style Mini Cooper S on 50.18. Stephen Wareham already has a time of 45.83 in that class, driving John Kirby's Mini Clubman. Steve Harris over the line, the man that started the club in the first place. Steve with his Alston Mini on a time of 53.90, car 140, time of 53.90. Renault Clio man Anthony Smith running as 141. Over the line in 50.34. Way off the start line in 3.24 seconds goes Dan Bradford Jones with the Mini GT. 1275 GT originally. Martin Bragg with the mini-engine GTM Coupe, car 143. Takes the first official climb today, 50.46. And now John Kirby gets aboard his own machine, the Mini Clubman, running as 146. Launched in 2.86 seconds. Meanwhile, Bradford Jones is out of the S's in 24.72 in the GT. And at the top, Matt Webb, car 144, takes the time of 51.24. And the man most likely to do the business in Class H is Derek Kessel with the space frame Maguire Mini. As he goes up through the S's, Bradford Jones goes over the finish line, 145 in a time of 50.68. John Kirby very quickly behind him then with the Clubman, car 146 on 46.25. So Stephen Wareham leading the way ahead of John Kirby, with Derek Kessel on the hill in car 147, the Maguire Mini, and he takes his expected position at the head of the division on 43.78, with Stephen Wareham in second place on 45.83, and John Kirby third on 46.25. Onwards then to the Bristol MX5 Club class, or classes, because we've got an up to 2 litre division and David Newman with his over 2 litre car, or his 2 litre car. Nick Lear and Pepper Lucas already have times on the board. So we add Phil Oliver's time there in the 444 MX5 on 49.90, car 444, 49.90. James Herford out of the S's then, and in his MX5 in 24.45. I'm waiting for the green light on the line, Michael Bartlett. Herford completes his run, car 407 in 50.61. Bartlett launched in 3.2 seconds, so took 0.03 of a second off of Mike Lear, sorry, the car that was in front of him, and Mike's over the finish line in 51.64, 51.64, as David Newman now exercises the 2 litre MX5 across the parkland here at Wiscombe Park. Mike Bartlett clear of the S's in 23.83 and over the line into the top paddock of 48.83. 48.83 for car 409. So just David Newman's time before we go to the double riders on the combination from the National Hill Climb Association's motorcycle classes. We got Kevin Young doing the steering bit on the combination, and Sarah Howard doing the acrobatic bit, moving around and keeping the weight in the right place. So we've got Sarah putting her weight across the rear wheels, so they get away off the start line to best effect. 157 and David Newman in the top paddock on 45.97, and the Derbyshire combination away off the line in 2.75. Kevin from Winterbourne Abbas near Dorchester, and Sarah Howard from Poole. Into the S's now and away up towards Saul Bench in 26.32. And it's getting these combinations around the hairpin. First of all, Saul Bench. Straighten it out, put the power on, fastest part of the hill, Castle Straight, and then conquering the camber and the hairpin at the left-hander known as Martini. Then open the throttle and over the finish line in 54.23 seconds. So our first official motorcycle time of the day goes to Kevin Young and Sarah Howard with a time of 54.23. Sweeps the bike through the right-hander, out of the sunshine, into the shade, into the S's, and out in 27.23. Around West corner goes Patrick Evans. Patrick aboard the 250cc KTM. Patrick travelled down from Twickenham to compete at Wiscombe Park this weekend. Next bike away, 252, will be Gary Vernon. Another 250cc machine, but this time a gas. Time for Richard Thorne, 57.11. Over Bunny's Leap now, 252. Gary Vernon with the gas. Launched in 2.91 seconds, but at the top of the hill, Patrick Evans completes his climb, 244 in 48.22. So into the lead of the 250 class. Pauline Ford now approaching the gate. Basingstoke driver on the rider on the Honda 249cc. Off the line then goes 283 Scott George, 2.82 seconds. So business-like start. We've got a time for Gary Vernon, 252. We do at the top with the gas on 51.24. So the initiative remains with Patrick Evans. Scott George the last in the class, and he's out of the S's in 23.88. As into the 350 to 500 class we go with bike number 6, Jamie Mitchell on the BRC, away from the start line in 2.59 seconds. Scott George's time we look for, and it's 49.07. So that doesn't put him on par with Patrick Evans. 237 Pauline Ford was a 64.45. 64.45. So in the 250 class, lead taken by Patrick Evans with Scott George in second place. Gary Vernon third. Jamie Mitchell, like number 6 then, in the top paddock. Sets the target for the 500cc runners on 43.75 with the BRC. 2.68 away from the line for Richard Bowker aboard the 450cc Honda CRF. Simon Hocking, 5 for the top 10 run off yesterday, and at the top today in 44.88. Slotting in behind Jamie Mitchell. Richard Bowker then takes the Honda out of the S in 22.68. What does that translate to at the top of the hill? So it's 47.90. So the pecking order: Mitchell, Hocking and Bowker in the 500cc class. Pete Ford with the KTM 470cc machine, running as 537, clears the S's in 22.51 and completes the climb on 46.82. Puts him into third place, just nudges Richard Bowker aside. sole competitor in the 350 class, Peter Isaac, with the venerable Velocet. Peter, the managing director of Wiscombe Limited, the motorsport management company here at Wiscombe Park, and the Velocet man is 33.05 in the S's, and Anthony Isaac, his son, coming up behind, launched in 2.8 seconds with the Kawasaki, and now out of the S's in 23.63 and under strict instructions not to catch Peter. And Peter makes it over the line in 70.85, 70.85 for Peter Isaac with the Velocet. 537 Peter Ford with the KTM made it over the finish line in 46.82. Anthony Isaac's time 48.74. So still Jamie Mitchell and Simon Hocking leading the way. 2.62 away from the line from Dorchester's Stephen Garland aboard the Honda CRF. For Chris Keats, a Honda 450 pilot from Wellington. Completes his climb on 44.93, so just misses out, moving into second place by 0.05 of a second. And now the rapid Jeff Hodges, Team GF CRF. Jeff cleared the S's in 21.88. Stephen Garland's time by 5.47 is 47.23. Jeff Hodges out of the S's in 21.88. Mike Tilley with the Honda CR 5.62 seconds, and now is on his way up to Salt Bench on 21.61. Moving into the 750 class, reigning champion Tom Short appears over Bunny's Leap with the KTM 653cc machine. This is the KTM SMR. Time for Jeff Hodges, well, that's 5.97, 45.97, 45.97 for 5.97, and Mike Tilley as 5.98 makes it to the top in 45.33. So Tom Short takes the KTM over the line, bike number 1 in 42.11. Opens up the scoring for the competitors in the 501 to 750 class. As waiting for the green light, and away off the line goes George Hodges with the Team GV CR Honda 504 cc's. We have Paul Jeffrey at the top on 42.86, bike number 4 on 42.86, so just shy of Short's 42.11. Hard trying Guy Ursel leaves the S's behind in 20.91 with the KTM and makes it a 43.28 at the top, so slots into third place behind Short and Jeffrey. Hodges then at 43.66 at the top of the hill, bike 7.71, time of 43.66. So it's good enough for fourth at the moment. So 777, Tommy Hodges over the line in 42.44, which puts him into second place, just short of Tom Short's 42.11, and Cadan Harris with the Husaberg 798, clocks 46.51. So Short leading the way in the 750cc class, with Tommy Hodges second on 42.44 and Paul Jeffrey third on 42.86. So Leonard Vincent takes his KTM across the parkland, and he launched in 2.9 seconds. We have time for Alan Jolly, bike 800, that's the KTM, time 44.80. Moggeridge we haven't got today, so David Norris, the next man up the hill with a Triumph, 1050cc Triumph. David Norris 826, clocks 46.27. Leonard Vincent 828 over the line in 47.76. 47.76 for 828. And we go back to 750 class. 708 was Mark Short, Husaberg on 45.53. So that doesn't impact the leading positions there. As over Bunny Sleep goes Graham Proctor with the Ducati, and then we move to the trikes and the trike singular and the sidecars. John and Isaac Warren as ever on the 1000cc Suzuki, and showing a fair turn of speed as they strike across the parkland here. What was their launch time? 2.59 seconds. Really good getaway off the line, and 22.11 at the S's. Kevin and Sarah Jewell now aboard the Wimble Kawasaki, the diminutive 500cc machine. Kevin and Sarah both from Weymouth. Let's have a look at 914. The time at the top is 45.58. Rob Thorne and Kevin Young get to grips with the Derbyshire Honda 600. Took the class win here yesterday. Kevin has already piloted this machine to the top with Sarah Howard as passenger in 54.23. So that's the target for Thorne and Young. The dual partnership then at the top, 988. In 59.66. Thorne and Young out of the S's in 23.62 on the 600cc machine. Looking to beat 54.23. No dispute about that. 48.51. 48.51 for Rod Thorne and Kevin Young aboard the Derbyshire Honda 600. So we have the Mini Clubman back on the line and running as 146, which should be John Kirby. finishes in 2.93 seconds. Retired engineer from Weymouth in Dorset. And now it looks like there's going to be a rerun for two of the single-seaters in the 1100 to 1600 class. Certainly we expected Andrew Forsyth as he got the flag, but Andrew Short also getting a rerun. Short from Exeter, the first man to the line. 22.16 for Kirby in the S's and 2.49 for Short as he takes the CF07 off the line. Took the class win yesterday afternoon. Be looking to see if he can repeat that success. The man on the start line will be giving his all to prevent the Exeter man from doing that. So Andrew Forsyth with the CF04, Suzuki powered. Launches in 2.48, so he's taken 1/100th of a second off his adversary Andrew Short. Short is out of the S's in 18.02 and at the finish in 37.62. But Forsyth is up on him out of the S's, sub 18 seconds, 17.98. And keeps it clean at the top of the hill. Fastest part Castle Straight and then Martini, but it's a 37.18 and that slots him into first place, in fact. 37.562 for Andrew Short. Beat Ed Hollier's time of 38.30. And now Andrew Forsyth goes a tad faster on 37.18. So that sets us up for a battle as the afternoon progresses in the 1100 to 1600 racing car class. So I think we're now looking at an adjournment for lunch. So afternoon action is underway here at Wiscombe Park with Charlie Delahunty with her Mazda MX-5 running as 37A, 29 seconds out of the S's. Contesting Class A2 road going series production cars with engines between 1400 and 1800 cc's. Double driven car, so it'd probably be a batch of just the single machine. And Charlie at the top in 59.11, 59.11 for car 37A. So today the final qualifying round for the 2020 Tillicoultry Quarries Wiscombe Park Championship. Prior to the weekend, Jonathan Wright at the top of the table with the VW Golf on 72.17. John Langmead with the Lotus Elise 135R in second place. And that duo certainly at the sharp end of Class A2, road going series production cars, 1400 to 1800 cc. So they're giving of their most this weekend to see if they can affect the championship positions. Jonathan Wright to secure his position and John Langmead to see if he can usurp Wright's lead. So plenty to be fought for this afternoon. Class wins, fastest time of the day, and of course championship points, which mean prizes at the end of the day. So the main bulk of Class 1 road going series production cars up to 1400 cc's out to do battle, second of the 3 official timed runs. That's the case for the cars. I think with the motorcycles, all their runs this morning were about practice, and the 2 runs this afternoon will be official. So it's Phil Gardner with the Austin Healey Sebring Sprite, 60.15 from his first visit to the hill, through the timing split at the bridge in 3.16 seconds. Class led by Lee Kessel, now leaves the start line. Car number 22, the Austin Mini. Lee from Saltash, a vehicle mechanic by occupation and winner of the Downton Motor Club Speed Championship back in 2015. This 1275 Mini started life as Lee's road car back when he was 17, now been steadily improved into the competition vehicle that it is, as we see today. Julian Rinaldi then over Bunny's Leap in the Fiat Panda. Julian, garage owner from Musbury Garage, just up the road here from Wiscombe Park. Previously seen in the Volkswagen Golf GTI. Now Peter Stiles way off the line with the Suzuki Swift GTI. Peter from Taunton. First run time of 51.54, which put him into 3rd place. So Phil Gardner at the top of the hill with the Austin Healey, car number 21 in 60.69. Lee Kessel crosses the line with the Mini, car number 22 in 47.36. So that might well be strengthening his lead. Let's see if Julian Rinaldi has a response to that. It's an improved time, down to 50.26. Will it be good enough to keep him in 2nd place? Just as Peter Stiles with the Suzuki car number 24 clocks in on 50.33. So just 13 hundredths of a second there. At the top of Class A1. David Nutland on 52.70 from his first climb, and now second time out a 51.03. So David closing down on Messrs Rinaldi and Stiles in Class A1. And final runner Alan Sydenham with the Nissan Micra. Alan from Tiverton, workshop controller, has the Micra in the top paddock on 50.43, so just 1/10 of a second behind Peter Stiles. So 2nd, 3rd and 4th all a bit tight there in Class A1, with Lee Kessel leading the way. Break off the line with his Mazda MX-5. Merv, retired accountant from Dorchester, competed in special saloons in hill climbs. Now they dabble with single-seaters a little while ago, but now his motorsport revolves around the Mazda, which was a 3 careful owner model bought back in 2010 when Merv got his hands on it. Time for Toby Galbraith with the Mazda Unos, car number 30, 52.33, 52.33. And Robert Woods has the Lotus Cortina in the top paddock, car number 31 on 53.09. And of course this is the Class A2 road going series production cars, 1400 to 1800 cc's, that will give us the battle between John Langmead and Jonathan Wright, not only for supremacy in the class, but also for pecking rights at the top of the 2020 Killicott Street Quarries Wiscombe Park Championship. So over the line goes Jonathan Baker with the Citroen Saxo, car 33 in 48.84. Merv Brake, car 32, the Mazda, clocking 52.93. So Merv putting in an improved run, as has Jonathan Baker. Across the parkland goes Ian Peacock with the Citroen C2 VTS. Travelling away from the line, we have Neil Catling with the MGZR. Neil, erstwhile Lotus Elise pilot. Time for Stephen Hepworth and his Cortina Mark 1, car 34 is 58.69. We now have the Lotus Elise of Charles White over Bunny's Leap, and John Langmead brings his 135R up onto the line. James Fisher Pearson with the Midget, the Landscape Gardener from Shaftesbury, car number 35, takes a time of 50.18, so he's found 1/10 of a second on this, his second visit to the hill. And now John Langmead is on his way to the right-hander at the gate with the Lotus Elise 135R. Jonathan dabbled with single-seaters and OMS PR last year, but now back into the sports car ranks for the Golf Professional. Former English champion, in fact. Ian Peacock with the Citroen, car number 36, a 51.58. 51.58 for Ian Peacock. And now off the line, the recoloured Volkswagen Golf, James Hudson. In racing red. Car 39, Charles White, the first of the two Lotus Elises, over the line in a time of 53.21. A good improvement there for Charles White, as the championship leader and class leader Jonathan Wright takes to the track with the Golf GTI. And as ever, Jonathan asking everything of the machine. On the brakes, oh, and locks up, gets it a little bit squirrely and sideways into the gate, but gets that right foot back on the throttle and pulls the car through into the S's. Time for John Langmead, 44.06, that's car number 40, and Andy Johnson, 37, with the Mazda, clocks 56.42. Car 41, James Hudson, makes it to the top and an improved time of 45.14. So he's found 7/100ths of a second. John Langmead actually has dropped back off of his first run time of 43.89. And now we need to see how those antics at the gate have affected Jonathan Wright's time. And the answer is, yeah, to a major extent, 62.73, 62.73 for the championship leader with the Golf GTI. So Andrew Meek now on the hill with the Subaru Impreza, double driver from Class A, road going production cars up to over 2,600 cc's. But the first of the double driven machines was Zach Cobb from Class A3, the Mini Cooper S car 51A on 48.46. So no improvement for Zach there. Then again on the double driven regime, we go fast forward into Class A4 and pick up Martin Glover with the Renault, not the Mitsubishi Evo 4 RS that we are used to seeing the Glover duo in, and 68A time 48.04. And the last of those double runners, 73A Andrew Meek with the Impreza on 48.59. So kicking off the action then in Class A3, we're going series production cars 1800 to 2600 cc's is Richard Malice with the Audi TT. First climb of the day, official climb of the day, 52.69. And he gets the green light and is away around Wiscombe, pointing east over Bunny's Leap as he heads to the right-hander at the gate and from the bright sunshine into the shade. Launched in 2.71 seconds and through the S's now in 24.97 for Richard Malice. As away across the parkland goes Peter Ramsden with the MX3 off the line in 3.12 seconds. Richard Malice then approaching the finish around Martini, and then it's a blast over the line as a wide line round Wiscombe for Harry Harris, the Axminster Mazda MX-5 pilot. Richard Malice's time at the top, car 45, 51.93, 51.93. And away off the line goes James Wills with the Renault Clio 197. Quickly over Bunny's Leap. One of the many Mazda MX-5s in competition here today is away across West Straight. John Wells with the Mazda MX-5 that he brings from nearby Wimple. John, an operations director. This machine turbocharged by M-Tech of Westbury, giving 230 brake horsepower from its 1600 cc's. John Cooper works Mini in the hands of Ewan Minster resident Jeff Bryant. And a similar machine on the line in the hands of Weymouth driver Debbie Blake. Debbie safely around Wiscombe and making strides over Bunny's Leap. And we look to the time for Peter Ramsden, car number 46, and it's a 49.97. So Harry just getting under 50 seconds for the first time today. 47 Harry Harris over the line in 47.77. So shaving a few hundredths off his previous effort. Car 50, the Mazda MX-5 in the hands of John Wells, is on 40. Sorry, we'll go back and do 49 first. James Wills with the Renault Clio on 50.17, 50.17. So other driver who's taken time out on his second visit to the hill. 47.50. John Wells with the Mazda MX-5's 46.70. So over 7/10 of a second to the good John there on his second attempt. 51 Ethan Cobb with the Mini Cooper S, BMW style Mini Cooper S. And his time 47.07, car 51, 47.07. As we have coming out of Wiscombe corner, and the Ford Fiesta ST in the hands of John Lepedvin. And now class leader Anthony Wright takes his position on the start line and makes his start using the four-wheel drive of the Audi A3 in 2.52 seconds. Meanwhile, back in the top paddock, Jeff Bryant is savouring his climb in car 52 on 48.99. Debbie Blake breaks under 50 seconds for the first time today with a 49.57. John White with his Audi A3 running his car 54 stops the clocks on 45.36. So over 1 3/4 second improvement there for John. Car 55, Dan Trotman, the Fiesta in the top paddock on 46.42. John Lepedvin with his ST version of the Ford Fiesta, car 56 on 48.38. So no improvement for the Emsworth driver there. And let's see how Anthony Wright has performed. 44.00 on his first run and 44.00 on his second run. Simon Neve, and man in the Mitsubishi Lancer GSR, car number 59, stops the clocks on 46.75. As we see how Rodney Isles is doing, and Matt Van with the Audi TT. Rodney Isles, car number 60, in second place on the first runs on 45.13, but he's really put it together on his second visit to the hill, and is now just 33 hundredths of a second shy of Anthony Wright. Wellington driver with the Audi on 44 dead. Rodney Isles with the 4C Alfa Romeo 44.33, and rounding the class out, car 62 Matt Van, the Audi TT on 45.42. So Terry Headley on the line at the moment with the road going 328i Coupe BMW, car that's in daily use on the road, and Terry is in amongst the runners in road-going series production cars for machines with engines over 2,600 cc's. Terry from Rowlands Castle, and this particular 328i Coupe started life back in 1996. Now has a mileage, must be approaching 250,000, I would have thought. George Koopman in the top paddock with the Renault Megane, car 66 on 50.69. So George almost taking 2 seconds out of his previous best. Car 65, the 435i M BMW of Richard Barnes, is in the top paddock on 55.80. I'm waiting for the green light. Mike Potter with the Subaru Impreza, still resplendent in bridge tyres and wheels colours. Terry Headley's got the BMW to the top, car number 67 in 49.01. So he finds 3/10 of a second. And Simon Glover rather, with the Renault in the top paddock, car number 68 on 47.16. So a number of Subaru Imprezas doing business in this class, and looks like we've got the Meek machine out on the hill. Andrew and Geraint Meek sharing the Impreza 73 and 73A, but in the top paddock the pristine Jaguar E-Type in the hands of Robin Kane, car number 69. That's a 61.89. Mike Potter joins him there at the top with the WRX RA Impreza, and Michael's time, car number 70, is 50.16. And now for the modified series production car class, class C3, is the stunning Aston Martin Vantage GT4. New car for Andy Fraser and Tim Painter. It's not the previous machine with new graphics. This is a car built up specifically for hill climbing. It's 100 k's lighter than the previous machine. Very quickly around Wisk Corner and over Bunny's Leap goes Jeff Blake, leading the way in modified series production cars with a first run climb of 41.65. And he's followed away with another double driver, Jan Yo, from the Sports Libra class up to 1800 cc's, and Jan at the wheel of the Legend 34 Ford Coupe. The time for Geraint Meek, car number 73, 47.86. Daniel Gooder with the Club Sport Golf GTI car 74 posts a time of 48.06. And then we go to the double drivers, and car 100A was Andy Fraser, class C3, the Aston Martin, and Andy dropping a bit of time on this particular visit to the hill. 46.81 first time out this morning, now 48.17. And Jeff Blake in class C4 with a wide-bodied Westfield running 104A. That's a 42.98. So likewise, Jeff not able to realise his first run pace on 41.65. Let's see how Jan Yo's done. Well, he had a disaster of a first run on 65.81. So the Exeter driver happy to get in a more representative climb of 43.61. That's 109A, 43.61. Takes the green light and away off the start line in 3.19 seconds. Cresting Bunny's Leap before getting his eye in and braking for the right-hander at the gate into the shade of the S's. There's the testing part of the hill here at Wiscombe Park, along with the hairpins, of course. 24.09. It's the right-handed hairpin at Saul Bench that now attracts Trevor's attention before the fastest part of the hill, Castle Straight, and then on the brakes for the left-hander at Martini. And with that we have Steve Hill on his way into the right-hander at the gate with the Lotus Super 7. Car rebuilt in recent seasons after being in use for about 10 years. Roger Coote next on to the hill, retired motor engineer who started his competition in motorsport in go-karts back in 1966 with a JLO engined faster kart, and has taken in various machines and a bit of rallying on his way to speed hill climbing, which he's competed in recent years. The time for Trevor Parsons, car number 80, It's 49.04, 49.04. Steve Hill already at the top in 43.25, 43.25 for Steve Hill with the Super 7. And waiting for the green light at the start, Steve Wiscombe with the MG Midget, contesting Class C1 Modified Series production cars. Steve from Heytesbury near Warminster, a retired teacher. And this car has a little bit of a history, built by Bob Neville back in the early 70s, using parts from Roger Enever's Racing Midget. Roger was a well-known driver of Works MGs for the British Motor Company. 1380 cc's, big valve head, steel crank Weber carbs, going to give it more power. And now Hillclimb returnee Mark Hobbs moves the action into Modified Series production cars, and Mark will be looking to improve on his first run time of 47.06 as he tries to close the gap to Ford car pilot Sean Tuckey, who's now way off the line. And Sean is just, let's see, 900th of a second up the road, 46.97. So well within Hobbs' sight. Car 82, Roger Coote, Class B2, takes a second climb of 46.61. So that makes a sizable improvement there for the Exeter driver. Car 86, Tim Monk in Class B3 with the Fisher Fury on 47.60. So he finds 1500ths of a second. The dueling MG Midgets in Modified Series production class, Class C1. First up the hill, John Tandy with his yellow machine, car number 89 in 46.91, and followed by the green machine, Steve Luscombe, car number 90 on 49.62. So Tandy maintains his advantage there. The battle of the Fords, the Fiesta against the car in Class C2. Hobbs against Tuckey, or Tuckey against Hobbs I should say, as blasting away from the line goes the NTR Mini R1 of Neil Tuckey from Class D1 Sports Libera cars. But Hobbs' time, car number 92, was 47.31. So the Fiesta man not able to put an improvement together there. 46.50 for Tuckey, car number 93 in the car. So Sean Tuckey opens up his advantage there as Luke Trotman is on the brakes for the gate with the Malice Mark 18B. Car number 98. Trevor McMaster at the top in 45.83 from Class C3 Modified Series production car classes. Nathan Tuckey with his Ford car there, car number 97, over the line in 48.28. And now on to car 107. That's another Tuckey. That was Neil with the NTR Mini in the Sports Libera class. Car 107 in the top paddock on 43.38. So Neil finding 0.2 of a second there. Joined in the top paddock by Luke Trotman with the Malice car 108. And Luke makes an improvement down into the 42-second bracket with a 42.48. Graham Blake takes his second run with the Vauxhall engined Westfield. A few problems with gearboxes and oil on the track here a few weeks ago, but gearbox maladies sorted by the Weymouth duo. Tim Painter with the Aston Martin car number 100 took the class here yesterday and posts a time of 45.51, so that puts him ahead of Trevor McMaster. We'll see how Mark Stubbington is faring there, and it's a 45.86 with the Mark 1 goal. So that puts him in third place, just 0.03 of a second in arrears of Trevor McMaster. Now the rally car class out on the hill. First man Chris Elston with his Mark 1. As he goes over Bunny's Leap, we have time in Class D1 Sports Libra cars for David Yeo, Exeter driver, car 109, clocks 47.18. So not on the pace of earlier in the day. Bill Cook, second rally car out with the Talbot Sunbeam Lotus. And coming up to the line, Mark Linford with his Mark 1. And the person doing the business in the class is Mark 2 driver John Simpson. As that makes his preparations on his way down to the line. Car 113 then, Chris Elston in the top paddock on 48.94. It's his best climb of the day so far. And now more contemporary rally car on the line, Carl Broad with the Ford Fiesta RS. Around Wiss Corner in 2.67 seconds. Mike Dixon comes up to the line with his Mark 1. Bill Cook, meanwhile, in the top paddock with his Lotus Sunbeam on 48.60. That's 114.48.6. As Dixon makes his way across the parkland with his version of the Mark 1, and Martin Dover comes to the line with his Hillman Avenger GT. Mark Linford's time at the top of the hill, car 115, is 45.49. So he's finding just about half a second there on his previous effort as Mike Dixon comes over Bunny's Leap. Carl Broad with the Fiesta RS at the top in 47.64, 47.64. And now class leader John Simpson plays with the throttle off the line, goes deep around the left-hander at Wiss, but keeps it off the banks. Smooth up through the gears over Bunny's Leap, and now disappears into the shadow of the S's. As he does that, Mike Dixon takes the Mark 1 over the line in 50.85. 50.85 for Mike Dixon, car 117. Martin Dover's also at the top with the Avenger, car 118 on 51.22. So 700th shy of his earlier effort, as we have double-driven cars coming down to the start line. And car 119, John Simpson, then the class leader, goes quicker, looking to secure that position. 43.98 for the Mark II escort man. Just one man to run in the rally car class. Tim Porter with the Darien T90. The Wimborne driver with the Vauxhall engined machine. And he's over the line in 44.69. So found over 1 second, but unable to take the fight really to John Simpson at the moment. As Tony Bonfield gets underway with his second run of the day, moving us into racing cars up to 1100 cc's, and this Jedi shares with his son Ben. And Ben currently really getting involved with the battles at the front of the field with a 38.46 climb. Tony Bonfield asking everything of the GSXR Suzuki powered 1 litre machine, 988 cc's, producing about 165 brake horsepower at the crank. So 125A Mike Williams aboard the MWR Storm opens up the second run times in Class E1 racing cars up to 1100 cc's with a climb of 43.34. So that's an improvement for the Warminster driver. Tony Bonfield making it to the top, 125A in 40.43. So over 2 seconds improvement for the Taunton driver on his second visit to the hill. Stephen Wareham waits on the line, not in his normal white Mini, but sharing driving duties in the Mini Clubman of John Kirby, and at the moment just a tad faster than the car's owner. Brings the revs up and away. A little sluggish off the line there for Stephen, and the car is not quite as familiar with, but it's a 3.41 second launch. He's now through the gate into the S's, left, right, and then on up to Martini, the right hand hairpin, 22.79 out of the S's, as away from the start line goes car 405. That's Nick Lear with the Mazda MX-5, and he's one of 7 competitors, including the 2 litre division from the Bristol MX-5 club, that are out on the track here today. And the time for Stephen Wareham, his second visit to the hill, 46.21. So not on the pace of earlier today, as Pekka Tulukas takes his Mazda MX-5 over Bunny's Leap, class winner from yesterday's meeting. Double driven cars, so they're taking an early run, and we'll see the remains of the class out a little bit later. So Nick Lear's time, car 405, 49.50. We look to see how Tulukas is performing. And it could well be 48.49 for car 403, 48.49. So not quite on the pace of the 48.12 that he recorded earlier in the proceedings. John Simpson maintains his advantage in the rally car class D3 on 43.98. Second, Tim Porter with the Darien, 44.69, and third, Mark Linford with the Mark 1 Escort on 45.49. Now, with a certain amount of urgency across the parkland, is car 123. Robert Clark with the Empire Evo. Robert's first time, 40.26. Way off the line goes Andrew Mathis with the OMS PR, moving us into the 1100 to 1600 racing car split. Car 123, Robert Clark. just about 4/10 up on Andrew Short, and yesterday's victor, Ed Hollier, currently third fastest this morning on 38.30, but we would expect some fireworks from Ed in that respect. Andrew Short, his bid, took the class win here yesterday afternoon with the promotion of Ed Hollier to fastest time of the day. Short launched in 2.51 seconds and out of the S's in 18.09. As Forsyth wastes no time in his departure, and he's 7/100ths of a second up away off the line. So the Shillingston driver has an early advantage as Ed Hollier brings the MP 62 to the line. And Forsyth's advantage is maintained in the S's with a 17.89. Short approaching the finish line with the CF07. Suzuki Power in the MP 62. And Hollier's away in 2.53 seconds. Unleashes the power of the 1600. Power plant sweeps through the right-hander at the gate, constant radius into the S's, 17.61. So Ed Hollier certainly looking to put the 38.3 second climb earlier today behind him. As across the parkland goes Kevin Frost with the KMD in the 1600 litre class. But Ed Hollier's time is a 36.24. 36.24. So he throws the gauntlet down to all those in his class and in the 1100cc class and the 1600 2-litre class for that matter, as John Opie is away through the S's with the RT3 Rolt. Off the line goes Tom Williams in class E1 with the MWR Storm. Tom on a 43.17 from his first climb. Powering up through the S's in 20.10. As another contestant from the 1100 racing car class goes out to do business, that's Ben Bonfield. Tauntonian away off the line in 2.45 seconds. Ben posted a 38.46 on his first official time of the day, and he'll be liking to get as close to Hollier or even better if possible. 125 Ben Bonfield then in the S's, but red flags out. We have 124 Tom Williams clear of the S's in 20.10, but yet to make the top of the hill. So red flag for Ben Bonfield. And confirmed fail for Tom Williams. Quite a few reruns to be had. 128 Andrew Mathis was red flagged. Car 129 Andrew Short had a fail, and Andrew Forsyth red flagged. 125 now red flagged officially. So 3 reruns to be had from the 1100 and 1600 racing cars. As around Wiscombe. Okay, 139, John Hill. Contesting the Downton Car Club class, Downton Motor Club class. Another such man is Steve Harris with the Vauxhall Corsa. And of course the Renault Clio, Anthony Smith, now on his way down to the start line. So John Hill through the S's in 24.19 with the Mini Cooper S. And off the line goes Anthony Smith. John Hill at the top. Car 139 in 50.06, 50.06. And up to the line comes Martin Bragg with the GTM Coupe. Smoothly away off the line. Webb with the Aston Mini now over Bunny's Leap, but car 141, Anthony Smith, time of 49.51, 49.51, so he dips under 50 seconds, and it's a 52.05 for Steve Clark, 52.05, car 140. Martin Bragg then has the GTM over the line at the top, car 143 in 49.37. So another to get under the 50-second mark. John Kirby on the line with his British Leyland Clubman. 1380 cc's. John been motorsporting of different disciplines, racing, trialling, auto testing, etc., with Minis for 47 years. And Matt Webb's time, 144, it's 51.04. As Derek Kessel looks to see if he can improve his position at the top of the order. 41.37 leads the class. Dan Bradford Jones with the GT Mini, car 145, clocks 50.49. As we pick up the remainder of the Bristol MX5 Club class. Five runners there. Time for John Kirby is 47.26. So about a second astray of his first climb of the day. And Derek Kessel just driving the times down, 43.47. 43.47. Wheel spin away off the line as another of the Mazdas takes to the hill, and we have Phil Oliver in the top paddock, car 444 on 50.38, 50.38. Lear comes out of Wiscombe, and Dave Newman comes up to the line. And with that, James Herford completes his climb in car 407 on 50.34. So finding just over to a quarter of a second there. And Dave Newman using all the track there as he swings wide on the entrance to the left-hander at Wiscombe corner. 45.97 for Newman to beat. And Bartlett's time at the top, car 409, 48.72. And Mike Lear, 406, clocks 50.81, 50.81. So in outright times, it's Pekka Tulukas leading the way with his first run climb of 48.12. On course to take another class win, to add to that he achieved yesterday. And now Mark Shipman in the MGC Roadster. So we're slotting back to class A4 road going series production cars over 2,600cc. As the marshals remove what is known as the flip-flop boards, the markers from the edge of the track at the left-hand bend Wiscombe corner after the start, and from the S's and from the inside of the left-hand hairpin at the top of the hill Martini. This is in preparation for the motorcycles, and in particular the combinations, just to make sure that the passengers, as they move around and lean out, distribute the weight in the most beneficial manner, don't come into contact with the marker boards. Mark Shipman car 71 then at the top in 59.08. 59.08 as our attention moves to the classes of the National Hillclimb Association and the motorcycles. We have a full gambit of solo classes that are all amassing and ready to take to the track. But first of all, we have competitors from the sidecar class, Kevin Young and Sarah Howard, aboard the Derbyshire Honda 600. And they put in a first official climb today of 54.23. 2.68 off of 2.88 off of the line, 25.99 out of the S's. They're the last to run in this batch, because the machine has to be returned down the hill so that Kevin Young can relinquish the driving position and move over to the passenger slot, and Rod Thorne can get behind the controls. So the time for 9.86, Messrs Young and Howard, is 52.90. Worked his way down through times, 59 seconds, and now this morning opened up the 57.11. Off the line in 3.86 seconds. Little bit of smoke from the exhaust of the Suzuki, as next to run is .237 Pauline Ford, from Basingstoke, riding a 249cc Honda. Pauline's first time earlier today, 64.45. So that'll be her target. Thorne is 27.89 through the S's, waiting on the start line for the green light. 244 Patrick Evans, the KTM, the 250cc machine. That looked like a fast start in 2.76, certainly was, and he's got good acceleration out of Wisp and good momentum across the parkland. On up through the S's. As you might have just heard, Vic Fancy telling everybody that Richard Thorne's time at the top of the hill, 57.81. Pauline Ford, 237, stopped the clock on 64.69. So no improvement there for the Basingstoke rider. Patrick Evans, then 244, over the line in 48.40. So no improvement there. In fact, first three runners of the motorcycle unable to improve on their earlier time. 252 away off the line. Gary Vernon with the gas in 2.82 seconds. Patrick Evans through the S's in 23.34 with the KTM. Gary Vernon makes it to the top. It's 252 with the gas on 50.40. So third place man does make an improvement, but it's not in time, but not in position. Second place man Scott George is on 49.07, and George has improved on his second visit to the hill, 48.10. And that puts him into the lead. Scott George goes to the top, 48.10, and Patrick Evans in second on 48.22. So just 12/100ths of a second in it. 250cc class. Peter Isaac takes the Vantage to the top in a time of 77.57. So not as swift as his earlier visit, 70.85. So it's leg out, foot down around Wiss Corner. For 252. Lifting a wheel away from the line. 2.82 seconds. Goes Gary Vernon. Well, no, that can't be right. 2.2. So, next man up. Waiting for the green light. We seem to have lost the screens. Commentary position. Let's see a little play. No time recorded for number 7, Callum Short. And bike 6, Jamie Mitchell at the top in 64.66. No time for 5:06 either. And that may well have something to do with the problems I'm experiencing here with lack of screens as well. So I'm working through a few issues. the timing situation. So 5:37. Off the line in 2.73, that's Peter Ford with the 470cc KTM. And we look to Anthony Isaac as the next man away. No time recorded for 5:11. 5:37. Pete Ford does make it to the top and on 47.74, shy of the earlier effort. Stephen Garnin from Dorchester is off the line with the Honda CRF in 2.64 seconds. Chris Keats through the S's in 21.41 with the Honda 450. Garninch clear the S's also in 23.30. So 44.25 for Keats, 44.25 for 544. 2.71 is the launch time for Jeff Hodges, Team GB CRF 450. Taunton rider looking to improve on his first effort of 45.97. Stephen Garlinge at the top, another 47-second climb, but not on the pace of his original effort. 47.93 this time, just 0.7 of a second away from his previous effort. Mike Tilley using the track to best advantage on his approach to Wiscombe and launching in 2.61 seconds, carrying good speed into the right-hander at the gate. Tilley out of the S's in 21.87. So Jeff Hodges' time at the top, 46.59, 45.97 on his earlier effort. So Mike Tilley, the last to run in the class, 5.98. 45.64 at the top for Tilley. As Paul Jeffrey is now across Bunny's Leap with the Honda 507, and it's a launch in 2.38 seconds for Jeffrey, and he's now out of the S's in 20.14, so that's 20.14 for Paul Jeffrey out of the S's. At the top, Tom Short running first in the class, looks to be concreting that position with a 41.87. What is Paul Jeffrey's response to that? A 42.25. 42.25 for number 4, Paul Jeffrey. So he finds about 0.6 of a second from his first time, but is still over 0.3 of a second in arrears of Short. Guy Ursel, number 5, over the line in 43.18. So Guy improves by 1/10 of a second, as Mark Short launches in 2.64 seconds with the Husaberg 694cc machine. Mark from Bramford Speak near Exeter. Off the line goes about to go off the line, Tommy Hodges with the Team GB KTM. Short bike 7:08 out of the S's in 21.30. Hodges launches in 2.48 seconds. And clears the S's in 20.02. So 7:08, it's a time of 44.37. Mark Short, 44.37, his best climb of the afternoon. 7:71. George Hodges over the line in 42.54. So there's some improvements coming from the motorcycle competitors. Let's see how Tommy Hodges does. 777 over the line in 41.74. So that puts him in front of Tom Short by 13/100ths of a second. So a change in the order at the top in the 750cc class. As David Norris comes round Wist Corner with the Triumph, the 1050cc machine. Means that we're now in the 751 to 1400cc class. But we'll just drop back to the 750 division to pick up the time for Cadan Harris on the Husaberg. 798, time of 46.43. Alan Hodges was the first to get a time, or a second time, in the 1400cc class, riding the KTM bike 800. It's a 44.96, 16/100ths of a second slower than his first effort. David Norris at the top with the Triumph, 826 on 45.59. That's David's best. Improvements are coming thick and fast. On the line then, Stephen Butler with the Suzuki TL 1000. Leonard Vincent over the line with the KTM, 828 on 46.22, so over 1.5 seconds to the good of his earlier time. Stephen Butler launched in 2.71 seconds. And we got Colin Dodge in the S's on 22.70. Next off the line, Graham Proctor with the Ducati. Graham from Bideford. Time for Colin Dodge at the top by 829 is 48.24. Stephen Butler 830 out of the S's in 23.38 with the Suzuki, and it's a 48.54 at the top as we get to the trike of John and Isaac Warren, usually very quick and effective off the line, and in 2.67 seconds. Graham Proctor's time 892. We've yet to come as the Windle Special, the Kawasaki power machine of Kevin and Sarah Jewell, comes across the parkland. Graham Proctor's time 892 is 48.68. So just Rod Thorne and Kevin Young with the Derbyshire, and they're away off the line before we get to the reruns from the single-seaters, which may well impact on the battle for fastest time of the day. 2.79 for Thorne and Young away off the line, but the bike of John and Isaac Warren, 914, clocks 46.03, the Suzuki 1000cc powered machine. Kevin and Sarah Jewell 988, still on the hill at the moment. Now over the line in 58.95, so they break under 59 seconds. So we see how Thorne and Young are doing. 23.49 out of the S's with the Derbyshire, and 49.94 at the top. Not quite on their earlier pace of 48.51. So back to four wheels. And first man down to the line from Class E2 racing cars, 1100 to 1600 cc's, is Andrew Mathis with the OMSPR, taking a rerun due to a flag being called down to the start. 48.15 for Andrew on his first run. And gets the green light and is away. 2.47 seconds off the line as Ben Bonfield from Class E1 racing cars up to 1100 cc takes his place. Ben leads the way on 38.46 and he's quite comfortably in the lead there, to be frank, but he'll be not too happy, well, not satisfied with that, shall we say, and he'll be looking to put the pressure on his larger capacity brethren, and his bid to do that starts with a launch in 2.49 seconds, so 2/100ths of a second down on Mathis with this Kawasaki powered Jedi. 18.12 in the S's for Ben. So the car very effective up through to that point of the hill, but with regard to his battle with the larger capacity car, might well lose out on Castle Straight as Andrew Forsyth gets away in his bid to put the pressure on Ed Hollier. Launch of 2.44 seconds, so Ben Bonfield's time at the top is a 37.97. That's Ben's fastest climb so far. 17.82 for Forsyth in the S's. 37.18 on his first climb, and 36.24 leads the class with Ed Hollier. And the Shillingstone driver puts in a valiant effort. It's a 36.80. So moves into second place behind Hollier there. And we have to see if Andrew Short can return to the fray. Second climb for Andrew Mathis was 39.55. Car 128, 39.55. And the opportunity arose to come to Wiscombe. And of course Woolbridge would have had a meeting in April, as well as the British Championships in July, but none of that happened. There's been no British Championship, of course, this year due to the pandemic. But we have been able to get some motorsport together, admittedly without a crowd and with new procedures. But been blessed with good weather, which is helpful worthwhile. So those final runs started with Philip Gardner with the Alston Healy Sebring Sprite, and he's through the S's in 23.13. Sorry, no, that's the time for Lee Kessel, 23.13. At the top, Phil Gardner posts a 58.69, his best of the day. So he finishes on a positive time. And let's see if Lee Kessel can do the same. He certainly can. 47.17 for the Mini driver, car number 22. As across the parkland goes David Nutland, long-time motorsport and hill climb enthusiast from Bournemouth, with his very original Mini Cooper S. David's best climb so far, 51.03, as Alan Sydenham is away off the line with the Nissan Micra. Alan previously in 4th place, been hill climbing for 9 years with this 1340cc Nissan Micra, featuring uprated and lowered suspension. Fuel injection's been removed and it's been replaced with motorcycle carburetors, and now produces about 120 brake horsepower. Car number 23 then, Julian Rinaldi with the Fiat Panda. Julian over the line in 50.20. So he finds 600th of a second from his second climb. So the local garage proprietor, another to finish with an improved time. Peter Stiles, and also at the top of the hill with the Suzuki Swift GTI, car number 24 in 50.10. So even at this stage of the meeting, the times are still coming down and the drivers pushing on to get those improvements. Dave Nutland, car 26 in the top paddock with the best on 50.82, 50.82 for Dave Nutland. He's joined there with by Alan Sydenham with the Nissan Micra, car number 27 on 49.72. So Alan breaks under the 50-second mark for the first time, and that gives him second place. In fact, I think with the Nissan Micra, with Lee Kessel holding the advantage at the top of the order on 47.17. Car number 30, Toby Galbraith, moves us into road going series production cars. Toby with the Mazda Unos, car number 30, 52.66, but it's a 52.33, which is Toby's best climb of the day. Lotus Cortina man Robert Woods, car 31, stops the clocks on 52.59, and that's his first visit to the 52-second bracket today. 32 Merv Brake with the Mazda closes his day's sport on 53.18. So it'll be his second run of 52.93 that counts for awards purposes. And Jonathan Baker with the Citroen Saxo, car 33, takes a final climb of 49.05, but a best effort from the day of 48.84. Stephen Hepworth with the Mark 1 Cortina, car 34, takes a 58.05. That's his best of the day. And James Fisher Pearson with the MG Midget, car 35, clocks 50.21. That's just 300th of a second shy of his best, which was 50.18. Now the Lotus Elise of Charles White comes out of Wiscombe. As across the line goes, the finish line goes Ian Peacock with the Citroen, car 36 on 52.96. And now John Langmead, the golf professional, with the 135R Lotus Elise, running second in the class at the moment on 44.06. Neil Catling at the top in 51.63. It's his best of the afternoon. Time for Andy Johnson with the Mazda, car 37. It's a 55.68. White already at the top, with the Lotus come with 39s of 52.63, car 39.52.63. Car 40 John Langley, second in class, second in the championship at the beginning of the weekend on 43.48. That takes him into the lead. Jonathan Wright's first climb was 43.54, and then time in the 62s. So Jonathan has work to do there. So 43.48 leads the way. James Hudson with the Volkswagen Golf and the GTI of Jonathan Wright to round out the course, the class, as we pick up some of the double-driven Subaru Imprezas. Car 51A, Zach Cobb already at the top with the Mini Cooper S from Class A3, 51A 48.74. The time for Jonathan Wright was a 44.15. So he'll have to rely on that first climb of 43.54. But John Langmead's time of 43.48 takes the win by 0.06 of a second. James Hudson's second climb, 45.16, just 0.02 of a second shy of his best, which will keep him in third place. John Langmead then finds his way to the top of the order in the road going series production cars with the Lotus Elise, and taking the win there on 43.48, with Jonathan Wright on 43.54 in second place, and James Hudson in third on 45.14. So John Langmead working hard to see if he can improve his championship position at this late stage of the season. Richard Malice now it takes to the hill, means we're looking at road going series production cars 1800 to 2600 cc's. Richard looking to improve on his best of 51.93. As around West corner goes Peter Ramsden, one of the many MX-5s today, in 3.18 seconds off of the start line. And he'll be followed by the MX-5 in the hands of Harry Harris. Harry lives in Axminster, just along the coast. So we have a time for Richard Malice. His final offering of the day is 52.70. 51.93, which is his best, as James Wills departs the start line with a Renault Clio. Peter Ramsden over the line with his MX-5 car 46 in 49.37. That's his best of the day. Harry Harris crosses the line on 47.91. 47.77 was his fastest time. Ethan Cobb way off the line with the BMW style Mini Cooper S, of which we have 3 all in a row here. Ethan on the hill, Jeff Bryant just shaping up on the start line, and then Debbie Brake with the heard John Cooper Works version. Jeff Bryant's away. It's also John Cooper Works. Let's see how Jeff did off of the start line. Car number 52, 2.99 seconds. At the top, John Wells with his Mazda, car number 50, clocks 46.02. 49 was James Wills with the Renault Clio 197 on 50.01. And that's his best of the day. He's found 1600ths of a second. Ethan Cobb at the top and 800ths of a second shy of his best on 47.15. Jeff Bryant, car 52 then, over the line in 49.46. Debbie Blake, car 53, through the S's in 24.47. John White launches the Audi in 2.46 seconds. So it's a 50.03 for Debbie Blake. So she has just the one time below 50 seconds on 49.57. John White out of the S's in 22.33. As around West Corner goes John Lepedvin with the Ford Fiesta ST. Semi-retired consultant from Emsworth. Now the man that leads Class A3, Anthony Wright with the Audi A3, but coming under increased pressure from Rod Isles. Wright on 44 seconds dead, Isles on 44.33. Anthony Wright out of the S's in 23.45. Time for John Lepedvin, car 56 is 47.82. John White at the top with the Audi 50, car 54 on 46.15. Dan Trotman, car 55, clocked 45.70. Let's see how Anthony Wright's performed. Made an improvement, 43.82. So found 1800ths of a second. Simon Neve out of the S's in 22.24 and over the finish line in 46.05. So what can Rod Isles do? It was the S's in 20.93. He needs a 46.05 or better. And it looks like, he needs a 43.82 or better. That was Wright's time, and he's got it, a 43.06 for the Alfa Romeo man. So both the Wrights losing out on the last climb in classes A2 and A3. Matt Van, car number 62, over the line in 44.68. So the battle's going down to the line as we move into road-going series production cars over 2,600 cc's. Richard Barnes on the hill, out with the S's in 26.99 with the BMW. As away from the start goes Terry Headley with the road-going BMW, launched in 3.23 seconds. But we have Richard Barnes in the top paddock, car number 65 on 56.51. So it's a 55.6 as his best climb of the afternoon. 66 George Coote over the line and not able to match his second run climb. This time it's a 51.10, so 50.69 will be his best. Terry Headley car 67 over the line in 48.93, and that is his fastest climb of the day. As Robin Kane rounds West Corner with the Jaguar E-Type. Robin off the line in 2.23 seconds. And Mike Potter replaces him on the marks at the start, gets the green light and uses the four-wheel drive to a launch of 2.86 seconds. Robin Kane out of the S's with the Jaguar E-Type on 30.34. Another Subaru Impreza leaves the line. This time it's Geraint Meek, car number 73, off the line in 2.55 seconds. Time car 68A. Should that be 68? Time 56.44. And now the Aston Martin returns to the hill with Andy Fraser at the wheel. 69 Robin Kane with the Jaguar E-Type. Gets it safely into the paddock on 60.36, so steadily working away and reducing his times. The Aston is away from the start. And now across the parkland, car 73 Geraint Meek in the top paddock on 46.21. So Geraint leaving the best to last. That's his fastest climb. As away goes Jeff Blake in Class C4, leading the way there in the battle against his father. Jeff's first run time is fastest on 41.65. Daniel Gooder with the VW Golf GTI in the top paddock on 47.40. As we continue with the double drivers, and Jan Yo aboard the Legend 34 means we're dealing with Sports Libre cars up to 1800 cc's. Andy Fraser takes his final run of the day on 45.53. That's his best climb of the day, 45.53, and brings him within 0.02 of a second of his co-driver and class leader Tim Painter. 104A Jeff Blake, then back in Class C4 in the top paddock on 41.04. So the Weymouth driver finishes on a high with his best time of the day. 109.8 Jan Yo from Class D1 is a 42.97. Likewise, that's Jan's quickest climb here at Wiscombe Park on this sunny autumn day. Third place man in Class B2, road going specialist production cars. That's Trevor Parsons, first out onto the hill. Trevor's best 49.04. Class leader Steve Little 43.25. So Parsons away from the line in 2.85 seconds. start line. Hometown of Taunton, classic car dealer by profession, and away off the start line in 2.7 seconds. Opens up the Super 7 over Bunny's Leap. Through the gates safely. Up through the S's. Leaves that behind in 20.70. And Trevor Parsons in the top paddock, car number 80 on 48.03. So he's found over a second on this final ascent. But not going to threaten Hill and Coote in the positions above him. Tim Monk with the Fisher Fury accelerating out of Wiscombe over Bunny's Leap. Road going specialist production cars, class B3. Monk rolls the car through the right hander at the gate into the S's. Time for Steve Hill, car number 81, 43.52, as John Tandy approaches Bunny's Leap, class leader in class C1, modified series production cars up to 1400 cc's. Battle of the midgets, but doesn't look like John has to do much battling because there doesn't seem to be any sign of his erstwhile competitor Steve Luscombe. And Mark Hobbs blasts away off the line with the Ford Fiesta. Class C2, modified series production cars 1400 to 1800 cc's. In his battle with Sean Tuckey aboard the Ford car. Car 82 is Roger Coote with the Ginetta G4. He's in the top paddock on 46.32. That's his best of the day. Steve Hill, number 81, clocked 43.52. But takes the easy win there with Roger Coote in second place and Trevor Parsons in third. Tim Monk, car number 86, finishes with a best climb of 45.8, 45.8 for car number 86. So found a good chunk of time on his final visit to the hill. John Tandy, also another to improve, finishing with a 46.58. Over Bunny's Leap, we now have Trevor McMaster with the Ginetta G32, hanging on to the coattails of class leader Tim Painter, but Andy Fraser's moved into the picture now with a 45.53. Time for Mark Hobbs, car 92, is 46.91, his best and his first visit to the 46s. And the response from Sean Tuckey of the Ford car is a 45-second climb, a 45.94 to secure a class win there in Class C2 modified series production car. 97 Nathan Tuckey with his Ford car, but from Class C3, clocks 47.76, his fastest of the day. With 98, Trevor McMaster looking to improve on his 45.83 from his second run. And unfortunately, Trevor, he fails to do that. It's a 45.59. Sorry, he does. 45.59. So 45.83 second run out, 45.59. So a good progression, a downward progression in times there. 107 from Sports Libra. Another Tuckey, this time nil with the NTR Mini R1 on a time of 42.79. Car 108. Luke Trotman, also Class D1, class leader with the Malak Mark 18B posts a final time of 42.81, so 42.48 will be his best, and David Yeo over the line in 46.21. His best of the day. Car 100 and Tim Painter leading Class C3 on 45.51 and unable to drive those times down any further with a 46.14, so he will rest on that 45.51. Hope that does the business, and it looks like it might well have done. Mark Stubbington with the Golf GTI car 101 clocking in at the top on 46.12, so his best was a 45.86. Jeff Blake completes the running in Class C4 modified series production cars with the wide body Westfield car 104 on 45.47, so taking 0.02 of a second off of his second climb, but he opened up at the beginning of the day on a 45.29. So it's rally cars now on to the hill. Mark Linford currently lying in third place over Bunny's Leap with the Mark 1, and Carl Broad with the Fiesta RS waiting for the green light. But we have Chris Elston already in the top paddock with a 49.15. That's car 113. So it's a 48.94 best for Elston as Broad gets away off the line in 2.79 seconds, and now he's on the brakes for the gate. A little puff. I can't quite discern whether it's smoke or exhaust on the braking for the gate. 114 at a time of 49.16. That's Bill Cook with the Talbot Sunbeam Lotus, and his best is a 48.60. Waiting for the... So Andrew Mathis off the line with the OMSPR, steps away on 2.4 seconds, cleanly round Wiss corner, over Bunny's Leap, lets the car settle, gets on the brakes through the right-hander into the S's. Steps away at the S's and out in 18.82, so good progress so far for Mathis. In Class E2, racing cars 1100 to 1600 cc's. Andrew's best climb so far, 39.55. Now it's a 38.98. 38.98 at the top. That's not going to impact on the battle between the three fastest protagonists in the class. Andrews, Short and Forsyth, and Ed Hollier. Now Andrew Short had failed, and had to be recovered, so we assume, as we're not seeing him in the queue to the start line, that he will not be partaking in this, the final run. Forsyth's away, using the Suzuki power off the line in 2.42 seconds. Through the gate into the S's. Now the testing part of the hill, time can be saved here, and 17.87 as way off the line now is Ed Hollier. Ed launched in 2.52 seconds, so dropped a tenth of a second to the first split, but will he have made it up by the time he exit the S's? Forsyth was away there in 17, and the screen's just gone, but Hollier is 17.98, so there's not a lot in it. Forsyth at the top in 37.15, so No improvement there for the Shillingstone driver. 36.80 will be his best, and Hollier gets the top in 36.78. So likewise, his best is 36.24. So Ed Hollier on course for the fastest time of the day, but it's not a done deal as yet. 135 John Opie is the final runner in the 1600 to 2 litre class. We already have Kevin Frost on the hill. Frost out of the S's with his KMD in 20.79. Off the line in 2.46 seconds goes Tom Williams with the MWR Storm, as Ben Bonfield comes rushing up to the start line, having put some heat into the rear tyres of the Jedi. So car 135 is John Opie at the top, but Tom Williams out of the S's in 20.27, and Ben Bonfield launching in 2.48 seconds. So Opie closes his day's sport on 42.70. That's car 135. 134 was Kevin Frost, and his time 43.18. So Ben Bonfield out of the S's in 18.34. with Tom Williams over the finish line in 42.60. That was Tom's best. And Bonfield finishes on 38.17. So 37.97 gives him the class win, with his father Tony in second place. Robert Clark actually moved into second place by virtue of his first run time before he got the fail. So it's a 40.26 that takes second place for Robert Clark, and Tony Bonfield in third with the Jedi. Ed Hollier taking fastest time of the day, then 36.24. That'll leave the class win for Andrew Forsyth on 36.80, and Andrew Short in third place with a best climb of 37.62. Opie takes the verdict in Class E3 racing cars 1600 to 2 litres with best climb of 42.70. Matt Webb with his Aston Mini over Bunny's Leap. And time for John Hill with the BMW Mini Cooper S, car 139, 49.73. Steve Harris with the Vauxhall car 140 on 53.14, and 141 Anthony Smith with the Renault Clio 49.10. Derek Kessel currently leading Stephen Wareham and John Kirby in third place. John on the line now. This is 1380cc Clubman. Martin Bragg car 143. The GTM Coupe over the line in 49.04. Martin's best of the day, as John Kirby attempts to see if he can get on terms with his co-driver Stephen Wareham. Stephen's posted a best of 45.19. This currently put him in second place. 144 Matt Webb in the top paddock on 50.59. As Derek Kessel unleashes the Maguire Mini Coupe off the line. Cooper S, low line fiberglass body on a space frame chassis. Dan Bradford Jones over the line into the top paddock on 49.61. first visit to the 49-second area. John Kirby then over the finish line in 45.81, 45.81. That's his best of the day, but still a little shy of the 45.19 of Stephen Wareham. And we'll no doubt see that Eric Kessel will take the win. Can he make an improvement on his time? Car 147, 43.50, and he's already had a 43.47. So the Bristol MX Mazdas. Away off the line goes Nick Lear in 3.13 seconds. We have James Herford out of the S's in 23.99, and Phil Oliver at the top of the hill, car 444 on 49.48. David Newman being the final Mazda MX-5 man, contesting the 2-litre division. James Herford completes his day's sport car 407 on 49.80. Mike Lear likewise on 50.47. As we move to the motorcycles, looks like we have a rerun there for a solo after we have Kevin Young and Sarah Howard on the Derbyshire 800. Time for 1:57. David Newman with the 2-litre Mazda 45.58. Sad Mike, the outfit, the Derbyshire Honda being steadied on the line, waiting for the green light. Best climb for the Young Howard duo is 52.9. And away they go. Sarah Howard moving across to make sure the weight is on the inside wheel, keeping it on the deck as they go around the left-hander at Wiss Corner. Way off the line in 2.89 seconds. Smoothly on the brakes through the gate into the S's. And as they depart the S's, the time is 25.61. Now it's a Saw Bench, Castle Straight and Martini hairpin to complete. The rerun is for bike number 6. That's Jamie Mitchell in the 500 class. And Jamie out of the S's in 20.60, which sets him up 20.6. So the time for 9.86, the combination crewed by Kevin Young, Sarah Howard, is 52.75. So that's their fastest climb of the day. Jamie Mitchell, bike number 6 at the top with the BRC, takes a time of 42.77. 42.77 for Jamie Mitchell. Richard Thorne away on his final of the day with the Suzuki RM 125cc machine, way off the line in 3.65 seconds. Richard in 4th place at the moment. Patrick Evans in second place, Gary Vernon in third. And it's Gary Vernon on the line. Just finding a gear. Got the green light and away he goes. 2.97 seconds. Away, Thorne is out of the S's in 27.45. Looking to improve on his best of 57.11. 57.81. Pauline Ford then this 3.36 seconds off the line for the Basingstoke rider on the Honda. .70 at the top for Gary Vernon. So it's 48.1. We'll see. Sweeping through West Corner goes Jamie Mitchell with the BRC off the line in 2.54 seconds. We have 2.44 Patrick Evans at the top in 47.15. That's Patrick's best of the day. Pauline Ford made it to the top by 2.37 in 63.66. 63.66, which is his best of, which is her best of the day. Richard Thorne 2.44 clocks. Sorry, Richard Thorne 1.64 clocked 50.85. 58.85. So Peter Isaac sacrificing his final run in order to get the organising team stripping the venue down at the end of the season. So bike 6, Jamie Mitchell at the top on 42.90. 42.90. Mitchell. 7 Callum Short. Callum on the KTM clocks 47.57. 47.57. So Patrick Evans looks to have secured the win with the KTM on 47.15. In second place, Scott George on 47.54. And third goes to Gary Vernon on 50.40. Isaac across the parkland, having departed the start line in 2.8 seconds. Just 3 hundredths up of Peter Ford. Time for Simon Hocking. Got bike 506 is 45.26. 45.26 for Simon Hocking. Richard Bowker with the Honda CRF running his 511 clocks 47.05. Now way off the line in 2.59 seconds goes Stephen Garlinge, the rider on the Honda CRF 450 machine. Time for Peter Ford, 46.21. That's bike 537. Time of 46.21. Followed up the hill by Anthony Isaac, running at 542. And Anthony takes a climb of 49.09. Chris Keats, another Tauntonian or Wellingtonian, at the top, 544 in a time of 43.93. On the line there, 598 Mike Tilley, and he departs in 2.58 seconds. Stephen Garlinge is at the top, and it's with his fastest time of the day, just better his best by 0.03 of a second. So Jamie Mitchell looking at favourite on 42.77. Ahead of the class. Way off the line goes Paul Jeffrey. 2.33 seconds, carrying good speed up over Bunny's Leap. Really putting a lot of effort into this final climb of the day. Jeff Hodges made it to the top by 597 and 45.37. As away goes Guy Ursel with the KTM SMR. 2.51 off the line, so dropped a bit of time there, but showing good speed as he goes through the gate into the S's. Mike Tilley, 598, completes his weekend sport on 45.80. So Jamie Mitchell at the top of the order there in 42.77. Second, Callum Short, the Bideford rider, with the best climb of 43.32. And Chris Keats in third place on 43.9. So Tom Short opened up the scoring in the 750 class with the KTM, bike number 1, 42 seconds dead. Followed up by Paul Jeffrey on his Honda 500cc machine, powering him to the top in 41.51, his best of the day. So Paul Jeffrey using that to take him to the top of the order. Guy Ursel makes it to the top with the KTM SMR on 42.34. That's good enough for 4th place at the moment, behind Tom Short, Tommy Hodges and Paul Jeffrey. 798 Cadan Harris in the S's. Mark Short 708 stopped the clocks on 44.45 with the Husaberg. And 777 Tommy Hodges collected a final climb of 42.55. Mark Short we had at 44.45, so 771 is George Hodges on 43.54. Across the parkland goes David Norris with the Triumph. So Cadan Harris gives us the final climb in the 750 class with the Husaberg 46.43. So the final pecking order is Paul Jeffries at the top on 45.51. Second, Jimmy Hodges on 41.74. Sorry, Tommy Hodges on 41.74. And third, Tom Short on 41.87. Alan Jolly gives us the first time in the 1400cc class. Alan on the KTM, and it's a 44.76. In the top paddock with the Triumph, 826 on 45.61. Alan Jolly and Norris at the top of the order as the trike takes to the hill for the final time. John and Isaac Warren, 1000cc Suzuki powered trike, 45.58, their fastest climb so far. Time for 828. Leonard Vincent with the KTM, that's a 45.92. Colin Dodge, 829, clocks 47.46. And Stephen Butler with Suzuki TL over the line at 46.45. Graham Stopko. There, so John Warren and Isaac Warren with the trike on 45.05, so they saved the best till last. 8-8. Kevin Sarah Jewell and 996 Rod Thorne Kevin Young. The latter out of the S's in 23.53. The Jewels complete in 57.45. So fittingly, that's their best time of the afternoon. And Thorne and Young looking to improve on a 48.51. So we hope that you've enjoyed the events that have been put on by the various clubs in the last few weeks to try and achieve some sort of season and some motorsport in these difficult times. Thank you for being respectful of the protocol, because that is the only way we're going to go forward, and let's hope that by the time we get to the 2021 season that things might be a little bit different. But in the meantime, keep watching your hill climb sites, websites, Facebook pages for information as things develop. But most of all, stay safe. We look forward to seeing you in 2021. Take care.